have said repeatedly, I want those emails out. Nobody has a bigger interest in getting them released than I do. I respect the State Department. They have their process that they do for everybody, not just for me. But anything that they might do to expedite that process, I heartily support.
Hillary Clinton earlier today in Cedar Falls, Iowa, talking to reporters after a long silence. Perhaps her comments in response to that federal judge ruling today that the State Department must release the secretary's emails in rolling fashion rather than saving them up to release next January. Judge Rudolph Contreras ruled the State Department must create a new schedule that involves the release of a new batch of emails every 60 days until January of next year. Now, of course, you heard Mrs. Clinton say she wants those emails out as soon as possible to show the American people as much of her work as Secretary of State as possible. Well, this sets up our panel, does it not? From Newsmax, Washington, we welcome in Stephen Cobb, the former general counsel of the Democratic Party of Virginia. And from our Newsmax TV newsroom, Javier Manjarres joins us. He's the managing editor of the Shark Tank political blog and author of the book, Brown People: Hispanic Politics and the Disunited States of Amigos, and a familiar face on the cover of that book. Stephen, since we're beginning with a Democratic candidate, your response to the judge's decision?
Oh, I think it's not unexpected. You know, as a federal litigator myself, this is something that comes up in the course of discovery many times that usually parties can agree to, and whether you're going to do a rolling production or whether you're going to do kind of a lump sum. I don't think it's unexpected or unheard of at all for him to choose to go with a rolling method. So that as they're proofed, redacted, save for national security purposes, that they're rolled out in a proper timetable for those viewing purposes. So I really don't think that this is a huge story in that regard. They now have their discovery review in place, and those documents will come rolling out, as you pointed out, on every 60-day schedule. All
right, so Javier, there's Stephen, our attorney, saying that, hey, you know, it's not a big deal legally, but politically, Javier, right. What does this say?
Well, it's going to drag out for Hillary. I'm sure she wants to, like, the all of a sudden transparent Hillary Clinton wants to have these all emails come out now so she can get by and actually continue on with her campaign. But again, let's go back to the bigger issue. What happened to all those emails she deleted that and on that private server of hers? I think that's the bigger issue. And look, I don't think there's anything that we're going to find that's going to be a smoking gun, if you would, with these emails, because she's already cleansed that whole email database, or her email database. So I don't think we'll find much there. So I don't really, it doesn't matter to me.
That New York Times article.
Well, the only reason
go ahead, Stephen.
For that sort of conversation to continue on is a conspiracy theory. You have to believe that there was something untoward.
We have to believe Hillary Clinton at her word.
There's no factual reason to believe.
So we have to believe Hillary Clinton at her word that she went through all her emails and scrubbed out the ones that are only about personal. I don't buy it.
All right, now let's turn around and take a look at another potential presidential candidate, New York Governor George Pataki, who appeared on our program a bit earlier. Of course, it looks like he is gearing up to run. And one columnist today, despite the governor's height, he was somewhat uncharitable, called Pataki a Lilliputian in terms of his candidacy. Javier, your take on Governor Pataki?
Look, God bless him if he's going to get in this race. And it's going to be a hard uphill battle for him, considering that, you know, he's going to be going up against people that are more in line, similar to his governing in Scott Walker and Jeb Bush. Again, I don't see him getting much traction against either one of those guys or any other Republican candidate in the race. So, you know, again, God bless him for jumping in the race if he's going to do so.
And Stephen, if memory serves, George was governor of New York when Hillary Clinton was the junior senator. Do you think he might be able to give Hillary a race if it came down to that?
Oh, I don't think we're anywhere near that. But at this point, it might be easier to name off Republicans who aren't running for president than those that are. This is a field that could, reach to 20 in the next couple months. It's just really getting huge. It'll be interesting to see how Governor Pataki's other adversaries meet him in this. He has an environmental record that is far to the left of all the others in the announced contenders in the Republican primaries. And on other issues such as healthcare and gay rights, I think he's far to the left of them also.
Gotcha. We'll
so
keep
it'll be
an eye.
interesting to see what kind of dialogue comes from those debates.
We'll keep an eye on that. 20 seconds, Javier. Florida news. One way to winnow down the field is the Florida primary, where it's going to be winner takes all the delegates. What does that mean, maybe to Jeb Bush or Marco Rubio?
Right, this was done by design to help Jeb Bush last year. This was already etched in stone months ago. This helps Jeb Bush more than anyone else. Because again, when it comes down to Florida, he's going to have a big issue, a problem here with Marco Rubio, and perhaps even a Ted Cruz with the way they're responding to his message in the grassroots. So I think this benefits Bush, and it's unfortunate that the Florida GOP did this.
Fair enough. Stephen Cobb in Washington, Javier Manjarres in our newsroom. Our thanks to you both, and Newsmax Prime is coming right back after this.